of the Tuesday the 19th of January. First item on the, wait for the clerk and then we'll take the first item.
I've two apologies for absence this evening. Councillor Purdue Haran, who I understand is at another meeting, and Councillor Wallace, who's delayed at work. Do we accept those apologies, please?
We do. All agreed?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Right. And, item 2, any declaration of interest?
Might I suggest that the committee to consider whether they would request a dispensation for the Chesterfield Farms application?
I think that probably is a good idea, Clark.
Is that
On what?
for neighbouring property?
Yes.
Okay.
Want to take a vote on that, please, just to confirm that everybody's...
Okay, do you want to do it as a straightforward, or does it have to be recorded?
Unless anybody doesn't believe we should be issuing a dispensation for that, otherwise we'll not be able to...
Is there any objection to that? Please show hands. In that case, then I presume that all in favour.
Okay, thank you. Any other declarations?
Otherwise, we'll have to take them when you realise it.
Yeah.
We'll go on to item 3 then, to sign the minutes of the meeting held on the 15th of December. Anybody disagree with that?
No.
Right. Let's wait for the clerk to come back.
We're accepting the minutes.
We are, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Item 4, to consider the planning applications received from Rushcliffe Borough Council, Appendix B. The first two on your list are referred to 5 Station Street, 20/03138 RELDM, and 20/03114 As it's the same property, we might as well take both together. Do I have any comments? Please show hands.
No.
No problems with that.
No objection.
Right. Please show if you've got any objection to that one. Those two. No objection?
No objection?
That's the 5 Station Street.
Okay.
Next one is 20/032/3124 full, Standhill Farm, Grantham Road, Bingham. Change of use of existing barn to pottery and painting studio. Does anybody want to comment? Please show hands. Any
Noticed on that was there's a limit. The only thing I noticed on there was there's a limitation suggested of opening times between 9 and 6, but I don't think there's any problems with it.
No. Do I take it then? Please show if you've got any objection to that application.
No.
Right. The next one is 20/03193 full, 22 Nursery Road, Bingham, single story, rear and side extension with application to white render. Please show if you've got any comments. In that case, any objections?
No problems.
No. No problem.
While waiting for the clerk, the next one is 20/03088 full, Miller House, Moorbridge Road, East Bingham, extension to existing industrial units, flexible use B2 to B8 and B8. Councillor Bird, I believe you want to make a comment on this one?
Yeah. Some things I didn't understand, but it did indicate that there was likely need for more parking. And it said that one of the planning conditions was regarding stopping up. affected land, but I've no idea what that means. But there was certainly some suggestion that there was more parking likely to be needed.
Any
I
other
don't think
comments?
we should object on that ground, but I don't know what stopping up means.
Councillor Stockwood, do you want to comment?
Hello, Mr. Chairman. The original Moorbridge Road and Moorbridge Road East end with hammerheads, so the road splits to a T shape, or it's actually like that coming down from the north. Yeah. So when they make up the new junction, they have to stop up the T and make it into a proper road shape. So, and they're not to open up, use the building, as far as I know, until they've got the stopping up done. So the stopping up refers to fixing the hammerhead so that it works properly as a road. There is a requirement that if the building gets bigger, the suggestion is that there should be more car parking spaces, and highways have raised that. And other than that, it's the this and the other application relate to the industrial units that are being built on the land north of Butfield. And we've expressed similar comments before about traffic, but you know, the Highways Authority takes on board the points being made in the travel plans of the application, and will address the matters as appropriate. Thanks.
Thank you for that, John. That explains it.
Councillor Mrs. Stockwood.
Thank you. I was just noting that it is in a radon area, but there is a condition for that. And also, I couldn't get the highways comments on this one. So no matter how hard I tried and no matter how many times I went back to it, it just wouldn't give me the highway comments. However, I've listened to what the others have said, so I'm quite happy with that. Thank you.
As there is some concern about the car parking, is it the wish of the committee that you would like it to be saying that you're no objection, but concern over car parking spaces?
Yeah.
I think I would support that if Councillor Stockwood wanted to propose it. Yeah, I don't know enough about this proposal to comment very usefully, but it does seem to be it does seem to be this is a very crowded little street in terms of development, and parking is always a serious consideration when you're extending industrial units. So I would support that.
Do we have any objection to the plan subject with the not taking account of the conditions that were already has been suggested?
No.
Town clerk.
So is it no objection?
But we are concerned about the car parking.
Yeah, so there's sufficient
for employees of that site.
Yeah.
Next one is 20/03245 full, 23 Derry Lane, Bingham. Construction of first floor single story extension, rear extension 2-story, front and side extension, demolition of existing outbuildings, erection of garage with external alterations including application, render and feathered edge effect weatherboarding. Please show of hands if you wish to comment. Councillor John Stockwood.
Good.
Mr. Chairman, the situation on Derry Lane was that there was a number of large plots towards the end, which is a road maintained by the residents of Derry Lane, because it's not an adopted highway. So it's always been a concern to the properties within on the access Derry Lane, the level of development along the road, and the way in which the site, sometimes quite large areas have been developed into housing units. So it's always been an issue of great sensitivity what gets built along Derry Lane. 23 Derry Lane has been constructed. I think it was one of the newer properties, perhaps. And there is quite an extensive list of extensions there as to how it will be developed further. So there are known issues regarding Derry Lane, and it has always been a great concern to residents in the area, and councillors have sometimes supported those concerns about the developments along Derry Lane. But it is now a constructed property, and councillors have to make a choice as to whether or not this is an appropriate extension as described within the plans. I think that's the best way I can sum up the situation, Mr. Chairman.
I believe it's actually now going to be, if this goes through, it'll be a 5-bedroom property. If my memory serves me right. It'll be quite large. Councillor John Lewis.
Yeah. Has anybody got any idea by what percentage this development will increase the area footage of the entire built part of the site? I thought that it was a policy thing not to allow development over 25% added ground floor area.
I haven't got the figures on it when the town clerk or deputy clerk has.
No, sorry, I don't have the percentage increase.
Councillor Mrs. Maureen Stockwood.
Yes, well, the percentage increases really apply to houses in the green belt and the effect they have on the green belt. It sometimes is expressed as a concern, but that's something that we could say we have a concern that it is being enlarged, and whether it's too much for the plot, but it's up to the officers to measure it exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say that
hold on, Councillor.
essentially this
Councillor,
is something.
hold on a minute.
Sorry.
Is there any other comments on this one before I? Right. What I was going to say, Councillor Lewis, is this particular one. We take it with that concern in mind.
Yeah.
Is there any other comments councillors wish to put in? Please show hands.
I'm happy with that.
In that case, town clerk, no objections, but we have concerns about the increased size of the property, and I presume there'll be parking and traffic issues as well with that.
So is it a concern about the increase in property in relation to the plot?
Yes.
And the availability of parking?
Mm-hmm. Right, the next one is 21/00051 ADV. That's Chesterfield Arms, Bingham. Display of 4 number externally illuminated fascia signs. 1 sign, no external illumination. Projected sign 2, non-illumination. Vinyl window signs. Please show of hands if you wish to comment.
Mr. Chairman, is this something that we've just ruled ourselves out from commenting.
I bet.
We have
If you hold on a minute, councillors. I believe actually we've all got given ourselves an exclusion on this one, so we can comment. Right, Councillor Lewis, you may now comment, and then Councillor Stockwood. Councillor Lewis, go ahead.
I'm happy to support a suggestion that we excuse ourselves from the consequences of having an interest as a neighbouring occupier.
Right, so you're not actually commenting on the application itself?
No.
Councillor John Stockwood, then, please.
So what we're commenting on is some signage in a town centre location, and our town centre is a conservation area. So there's views about what's on that signs and what that means in terms of which company is coming. But what we're actually doing is these are signs for a business in a town centre or in a location. The illumination, which we talked about before, is measured in what's abbreviated to the letters CD per metre squared, and that relates to candela, and that's a universal measurement of lighting. And the lighting levels of these signs is between 450 and 580 CDM squared per square metre. So it's when you look around the town centre, you'll see other signage illuminated in the same level around 600 or less. And so these are appropriate level of brightness for the town centre. The signage is perhaps similar to the way the building was previously signed. And so I think taking it as a planning application for some signage in a location which is, we have to take into account conserving the conservation area, but we also recognise this is a town centre application. And so on that basis, I think I would suggest no objection as the council's view. Thank you.
Please show of hands if there's any other comments on the application. Councillor Mrs Maureen Stockwood.
Thank you. Yes, I am a little concerned about this. There are several houses around there that actually park overnight. We've got a problem on Market Street, and I foresee a problem of people coming and parking as they go and collect their pizzas, whatever it is. So I would suggest, that it is difficult in that area, and I am concerned personally on the parking issue there. Thank you.
It's application for signage, Mr. Chairman. Information.
Okay, I'll write to the borough in my own capacity.
Unfortunately, Mrs Stockwood, I have to agree with Mr John Stockwood. It is actually a signage application, not the normal one. Otherwise, we could have commented on that. So, do I take it that there's no objection to the signs on that building? If there's any objections, please show.
No.
In that case, Town Clerk, that one is accepted.
Thank you.
No objection. The next one is 20/03086 full, Miller House, Moorbridge Road East. New build warehouse unit, including mezzanine level and ancillary accommodation, flexible B1A, brackets A, B2 and B8. Please show of hands if you've got any comments, please.
Yes, sir.
Hang on a minute. Hang on, Councillor Lewis.
Please.
Councillor Mrs Stockwood and then yourself.
Yeah, well,
thank you.
when I looked at the plans, I wondered how many people are going to work there. There is only one toilet that I could see on a mezzanine level. So I just wonder whether it's just storage or something. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, insufficient information regarding possible parking as well. Thank you.
Right, Councillor Lewis.
Yes, I was just going to comment, stating the obvious, really, that this is clear to be viewed together with 03088, which is in the same street. If we're talking about, you know, overdevelopment, you've got to take account of the fact that there's going to be one extension to an existing industrial unit and another new build unit, more or less next door, I guess, and change of use applications as well. So I think that we need to bear in mind that there are two more or less identical applications, and they're going to add to the density of the light industrial use on that road.
Right, next is Councillor Ronan Bird and then Councillor Mrs Stockwood.
Yeah, thank you. Councillor Stockwood and Councillor Lewis both effectively said what I was going to say, mainly about parking. So thanks very much.
Thank you. Councillor Mrs Stockwood.
Thank you. I was going to say, in answer to Councillor Lewis, that it's actually on the same curtilage as the other. The other is an extension to what's there, and this one is a new build. So it's all within the same firm, as far as I could see.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm sorry to say that I haven't really had time to look at these two applications and get a proper picture, but it did seem a bit strange to me that they were more or less next door to each other, and we're going to add considerably to the density of industrial building in that area, industrial activity.
Right, in that case then, if that's the comments of mainly in, is there any objection in principle to the application that's before you? Councillor Mrs Stockwood, would you like the comment about, is there enough toilets there to go in with the comment?
I'm content just to mention about the parking. I'd leave the hygienic arrangements.
Right, okay. The parking then, Madam Clerk, would you put that in there as a comment from the council, please, with the application?
I'll replicate the comment that was made for 3088.
Right, the next one is 20/03277 25 The Banks, construction of a bespoke orangery. Any comments? Please show of hands. Any objections to this one?
Sorry,
Chair,
sorry to come in late. Yes, I made a note about this one. It said application withdrawn in one part of the application.
Have you any further information on that, Madam Clerk?
No, I haven't heard anything further on that.
No, but if it hasn't, I'm quite happy with, you know, this bespoke orangery. It looks quite tasteful.
Any objections to this, please show. No objections, then that one is resolved. Next application is 20/2626 the old railway yard, Chapel Lane, Bingham. Sorry, I've got that one wrong there. That's one we've already got. So that looks like that is the applications for tonight. I don't think we're missing him.
Mr. Chairman, I
Oh,
think there's
Clark,
another
have we?
page.
There's another
There's
page.
another page. Yeah.
Page.
All right. Ah.
Starts with 111 Grantham Road,
Oh,
Bingham.
right. Okay. Right. I found it now. 20/03150 full, 111 Grantham Road. Construction of single-storey rear extension, including Velux windows, resubmission. Please show if anybody wishes to comment by hand. Is there any objection to this application?
Nope.
No. Right, next one is land to west of Chapel Lane, Bingham, 20/03212 RAM. Reserved matters application for replan of 254 plots, parcels 4 and 5. Reserved matters. I believe this one is change of builders in question. These are going to be built by, I believe, Taylor Wimpey. Deputy Clerk and then Councillor Bird. Deputy Clerk, your hand was up. Right, Councillor Bird then in that case.
Yeah, this was one that I was unable to access a great deal of the information. Now, it was interesting that I could access the other ones, but this one, I simply got a message that said Rushcliffe server problem, and that went on for quite a considerable amount of time. What I'm particularly concerned about is flooding, and I wasn't able to access the water reports. I don't know if anybody else did, but I have great concern that either it was being withheld or there was something seriously wrong with the system. I did check it on another computer and exactly the same thing happened. So it wasn't me.
Councillor John Stockwood.
Mr. Chairman, you've pointed out that what's happening here is that Wimpey have had an arrangement with the other developer, and that Wimpey are taking forward this section of the site. Yeah. So what they're doing is my understanding is that the layout of this portion is pretty much the same as or exactly the same in terms of roads. But what they're doing is replacing each of the other developers' house types with the Wimpey houses types. So what's happening is each of the plots that were previously proposed under it's Barratt David Wilson have now been gotten. There's a new plan with Wimpey houses on those plots. So I'm not sure that this is substantially different in terms of flooding, flood management, or any other forms of change. It's well, in fact, as far as I'm aware, it's described by the developer as being the same roads, but with Wimpey houses instead of Barratt David Wilson houses. So on that basis, I can't see the significant difference in the. Well, I mean, the Wimpey houses are obviously of their own style, and they've got their own palette of materials, etc. But it's not a significant. It's these reserved matters regarding the types of houses rather than the overall layout of the site and issues such as how it relates to the Car Dyke or routes through the site. So on the basis of what we're being asked to consider, which is some housing types, I don't have a problem with that, but I'm happy to listen to other comments. Thank you.
Please show of hands if there is any other comments.
Yeah, can I just ask if other people have been able to access those reports?
I had no problem with it about the others.
Mr. Chairman,
Councillor John Stockwood.
I accessed the planning system a number of occasions over the past few weeks. I have on occasion found that it came up with either an error has occurred, or but then when reaccessing the same thing at another occasion, I had no problem. So if there are recurring problems with the IT system at Rushcliffe, then perhaps could ask the clerk to write to Rushcliffe and ask them if there are problems and to raise this issue with them. But I was able to access the information I needed regarding each of the applications at one point or another when I've used the system. Thank you.
Councillor Bird, I think if you have any regular problems again, contact the clerk and we'll get her to contact Rushcliffe and see if they've had any particular major issues.
Okay,
Councillor
thank you very
Lewis?
much.
Yeah, can I just say, Mr. Chairman, that I'm happy to accept Councillor Stockwood's assurances that he's viewed the relevant plans and drawings, etc., and he's happy that there's no deleterious change arising from the different style of houses. So I wouldn't want to make any comment to this one.
I have one particular item, and that is that, and I have spoken to the case officer, that they all have electric charging points as of the others. If you all agree, do any of you disagree with that comment? In that case, Madam Clerk, subject to that comment, this one go. There's no objection.
Oh.
Next one is 20/03251 full 9 Langer Road, demolition of conservatory to rear, first floor front extension, two-story side, two-story front extension, single-story front and rear extension. Please show of hand if you wish to comment on this one. Councillor John Stockwood.
So Langer Road is part of the the Langer Road estate, or the Gough Cooper estate, sometimes known as. So all of the properties in that area there was a specific design to the estate, and it's quite a different character to other areas within Bingham. However, this is a corner where there are properties in very large plots, and in recent times they are being developed to reflect modern tastes. So you know, it is quite a large extension that's been here, and I can see that there are two neighbour objections, both relating to visual impact and overshadowing. But given the size of the plots and how the street scene has changed in this corner, and that the rear extension's, my understanding, is single story, I think on balance, although there are concerns from the neighbours, I think this is an application that is well, it's not something that I would object to myself, but happy to listen to other councillors' comments.
Do you have any other councillors wishing to comment on this application? Anybody object to the application? In that case, then this one's no objection, Madam Clerk. I think this is the last one, 20/03026 full. 9 is Daisy Chain 19 Longacre. Change of use from shop to dwelling. It's got the various other comments on there. Councillor Stockwood, do you want to comment on this one?
I think as a small property becoming a residential property, a residential dwelling, I can understand the changes that are being made to the property. My concern is that the paperwork describes it as a grade 2 listed building, and so the application before us is for the general matters relating to planning, and I think they seem quite reasonable. My concern would be about whether there should be a listed building consent, because it's not so much the planning issues regarding the general planning, it's more about the elements of the building that are listed and the original features that will be changed, or whether those changes are appropriate inside, I think, that building. So the application before us, I think I don't have an objection to, but I would raise a strong comment regarding the need for a listed is there a need here for a listed building consent? And because any concerns that I would have would be about preserving the elements of what I think is a grade 2 listed building. Thank you.
Any further comments, Councillor Mrs. Stockwood?
Yes, I can confirm. I'm seriously worried about listed building consent not coming forward at the same time, because when it does come forward, Historic England will be consulted, and they are the general advisors to the borough as to exactly whether the changes proposed are in keeping with a grade 2 listed building. Thank you.
Councillor Wayne Stapleton?
Yeah, I'm a wee bit concerned about this one as well, because it is an old building, and I think we will need to look at exactly what's going on there. I can see that the window frames are going to be repaired, and I'm a bit concerned about talks of double glazing or secondary glazing. That concerns me a wee bit as well. So yeah, I go with fellow councillors on this one.
So I'm going to do this slightly different. Are we in approval of this subject to listed building consent? Councillor Mrs. Stockwood?
I think, Mr. Chairman, you have to find out whether listed building consent is forthcoming.
Yeah.
Town Clerk?
I'm in agreement with Mrs. Stockwood that I think we do need to ask for the listed building consent before committee can make a decision.
On this particular one, apparently they want a decision by 26th of January, so we would need to go for an extension if that's the case. Councillor Lewis?
Yeah, I think I'm right in saying that if it's grade 2 listed, then the requirement to get listed building consent is discretionary rather than mandatory as it is with grade 1. So there is a degree to which it's possible for them to proceed without getting listed building consent, but I'm not so sure of my ground there as to put that forward as a proposition, and I would support that we say no comment, except that we would support the requirement to get.
I think you said no objection, but with a comment that we're disappointed we've not had listed building consent. Is that what Councillor Mrs. Stockwood was commenting on?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I think we should consider them together. They normally are together on a listed building. And don't forget, the Manor House is grade 2 listed, and I can assure you if that ever does come forward, it will be under intense scrutiny. Yes, they do have a higher grade of what you can do to grade 2 rather than grade 1, but it should still be sought. Thank you.
Does that, is that, do we all agree on that one? Please show of hands.
Yeah, I agree.
So just to clarify, are we saying we're not putting in a comment at the moment until we receive the listed building information as well?
We're asking for the listed building consent because obviously we need that to come. That really goes with this application.
But
so, whereas we've probably got no objection, to be able to comment properly, we do need the listed building consent to go with this one.
Right.
Councillor Mrs. Stockwood, would I be right in saying that is an appropriate answer to that one with your experience of the borough?
Well, I think it would be in order for the clerk to ring the borough, whoever the officer is for this one, and ascertain whether, it's coming forward at a later date and, should it be taken in conjunction with this one?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Councillor Stapleton seems to want
Councillor Stapleton, would you like to comment?
Yeah, I'm just concerned about you said a date. It needs to be in by a certain date. I'm a bit concerned about that. I mean, we really need this this grade putting through, don't we? Before the 26th, someone said.
26, yes.
Right.
So I will ask the question and follow up with the planning committee on what the planning department have to say in that respect about the listed building information.
Right, to consider any application from Rushcliffe Borough Council is what I've got on Appendix C. And the next item 6 to receive correspondence. I think we had copies of this one. Town and Country Planning Act, Section 211. Notice of proposed work to trees in Bingham Conservation Area, repollarding, several reduction of magnolia with decay, 19 Church Street. I think that one's just to be noted.
Yeah.
Is there any other correspondence, Town Clerk?
No, there's nothing further to discuss for the committee.
In that case, I declare the meeting closed at 19:42.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.